welcome to Arise Africa. It's so good to be back again. I am Chichi Nwabo, and with me today is...
Oh yeah, Mark Anthony. Hey, great to be with you this week. Chichi, awesome to be here today. How are you?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
I like
I'm
the
fine.
color. I like the color of your
Thank you.
dress.
Thank
Is this
you.
purple or blue?
No, it's blue. It's blue.
Looks like purple in my
Like
eye.
navy blue. Yeah.
It
It's
actually
not purple
it
though.
depends on the lights anyway
Okay.
that you beam on it. But anyway, of course you do know by now that yesterday was World Health Day. All about your health, a day set aside by the United Nations to deliberate on issues concerning your health.
Speaking of health, I'm a little bit under the weather, so I got I'm feeling a bit feverish over the week and all. And you see, happening that the World Health Day was yesterday, so I actually was thinking like, okay, you see, this is why it's important. We were saying something in the office that I was having a joke with a colleague of ours in the office, and he was saying that I said, have you checked dent like normal dentition and all that? Like,
Check your
what am I
teeth.
going to do that? Say, we don't do that in Nigeria. Nigeria, we don't do checkup. We do treatment, and it's a very bad
Very,
thing. A
very
lot of
bad.
persons do just take their health for granted. For example, I've not done a test still, for example, and that's the problem you get. And hopefully, I'm supposed to go do a test today and just
And
check
it's
myself.
it's it's even cheaper to
Yeah.
do your test. It's cheaper to
On time,
prevent
exactly.
the illness
Go for
or the
regular
ailment.
checkup
Go
and
for
all
regular
that.
checkup
It's important.
than to start treating yourself. Because at that time, when you get to the point where you have to start treating, you have to start going for X-rays, and if anything is found, you know what could happen
Yeah,
if it's cancerous.
and you're spending
And
a lot
that
of
that
money.
is why it is. What I saw, what the theme was, like our planet, our Earth. There's so much going on,
Yeah.
especially with the pandemic. You have a polluted planet where you have cancer, asthma, heart disease, and many other ailments. So I guess what you said is in place. It's very
Yeah.
important for us to go check ourselves.
Yeah,
Do
it's
a
important.
thorough check to see what is happening in your body.
Yeah.
You've got to know
Very,
that.
very,
At least,
very important.
even before you start to say, I want to pray, I want to fast, you've got to know what you're praying and fasting
Okay,
for.
I have a statement concerning that as well, especially when it comes to fasting and praying. The truth is, there are a lot of persons that say pray, or rather, there are a lot of persons that using the drug doesn't mean you do not have faith. I think a man of God was saying that you are saying it is God that created the doctors, for crying out loud. God gave them the ideas and all those things. So after God has healed you, for example, it's still important that you go check to see how far is still there or not. But another thing too that I still feel is some persons will still use the drug. You've heard of like they drank a drug and it didn't work. So your own is the essence is, okay, Lord, when I use this one that
It's
was
going
prescribed, it's
to
going to work
work.
for me. People use drugs and it still doesn't work. So
Really? So
I think there must be a
think,
balance.
I think it's a very long introduction on the
Very,
show
very,
today,
very.
but it's actually in place because we're talking about your health.
Yeah.
And your health is your life. And we want you to be alive and strong so you can continue to be part of our show every time we
Yeah.
are right here. And of course, we're part of African Broadcasting Network because we got so much for you on our station. All right, so let's dive right into the first segment.
Yes, it's a newspaper review segment, and it's important that we find out what's happening in the dailies over the weekend. So our first paper that we'll be reviewing is the Sunday Punch, and it's the main header there says train attack, governors, mercenary plan faulted military searches for missing passengers. And this story has been up like over a week now, and still I think about 168 persons are still unaccounted for, and it's a big issue. I just pray that we find a solution to all this as soon as possible. All right, and then there you see Ige appointing prime suspect APC secretary discredits probe, says Soinka. And then Buhari, Osinbajo, Obasanjo, Dangote, others hail Otedola's mom at 90. Yeah, that was like a very big one. Yeah, and it's a great one. Yeah.
Okay, I want to say something about the train attack. Government mercenary plan thwarted, military searches for missing passengers. You know, it is very easy to look at it holistically, like that there's an unfortunate incident.
Yeah.
But there's a thousand stories of individuals, people with tales, people who have lived like us,
Yeah.
people who have trusted the government, trusted the system, people who have woken up in the morning and decided they needed to go on a mission to fulfill their goals, their ambitions, you know, their
Yeah.
dreams, people who have gone to see their loved ones, whose dream was to see their loved one, people who plan to do things for humanity, for the betterment of the country. You know, it's I feel that a lot of people have seen it holistically. Maybe that's why we're just looking at it like some incident. These are lives. Anyway, I'm not trying to get emotional, but we
Yeah.
can't help it. But do it because, of course, we're human beings, so we're concerned that something can hopefully be done to prevent such occurrence in the future. So let's move on now to the next paper, and that is the one for Monday, and that's the Guardian in newspapers. It says, amid pressure, Naira, experts prefer options to shore up forex. Naira risk worse plunge. Market differential at all-time high of 173 Naira per dollar. Political risk, global move towards high interest rate, worsen situation, dollarization of investments, savings intensifies. Naira will hit point of no return if foreign exchange is liberalized. Faswa warns. That's the major header on the Guardian newspapers for Monday. And there's got to be more down. Of course, you can see insecurity. Buhari's government overwhelmed Obasanjo. Overwhelmed. Obasanjo warns. Okay, you can see more on that story on page 3. And Adeboye, I worry more for failing economy insecurity than 2023 elections. Our story is on page 2. And
that was a big one.
That was a big one.
On Sunday. I got to see some videos of when
Yes.
Daddy Gio was speaking, and it was really, he was making some salient points, and he was saying that we do not even know. We're talking about 2023 election, but we have not even left 2022 yet, and a lot of retrogression is happening already. A lot of attack. Our military base, which is Kaduna, it's now where all the bandits want to go. Someone is trying to isolate that area, and nobody is doing anything about it. All our military, Air Force, everybody, their base is actually in Kaduna.
Okay, people are doing something about it, but it's not enough.
Enough, yeah,
To
and
combat
it's
the level.
I feel that.
What do they call it? Is it Jangantuam?
Okay,
Oh
I
my
think
God,
there's so many things that's happening, and nobody's thinking about this. The politicians are just looking at 2023. You're thinking of politics, and lives are being lost. Why are you politicizing everything?
And what
It's
what I
madness.
see there is, you cannot have an election when there is no peace.
No peace, exactly.
I think some time ago, I think INEC said something like that. You need to have peace. Okay, I think people were concerned, yes, that they would that the election for 2023 might not hold.
Yeah.
Because when there's insecurity, how will people come
out
to
to
vote?
vote? Yeah.
How will people be sure that when they come out, they are going to go back in one piece?
That's the problem.
You know, so without peace, there can be no election. So this is a source
And
of concern.
It is
It's a major
honestly,
source
and
of
we should
concern.
just be like, well, let's be prayerful. But then, I don't want to be making use of the word prayer. When in places where things need to work, if the system is working, anyways, we still need God, or regardless.
And the thing is, because sometimes I always give this analogy. You've heard
Yeah.
me say it several
Yeah.
times, that if it were a company and things are not working, probably the owner of the company would say, "Get out of my company, management.
Yes,
You are not
sack
doing well."
someone,
You know,
health
or the
role,
management, or the
drop
management will
a lot of
decide,
staff and
or the
all that.
management will decide, "See, I don't think it's working. Let me resign honorably." you know, that kind of stuff. But in this country, it
Nobody
is
did
in
that.
Nigeria I see that things are not
And
working.
the persons still stay, they skip. I think, I cannot remember the country, but this past week, some set of, I think the ministers and all that, they resigned honorably. I think it's based on the sports thing too. And it happened. And a lot of persons protested and said they should come. They did. But here in Nigeria, if you try a protest,
They
let's
keep
hope
they keep they keep
they'll
telling
block
us
your
new
account and all
stories,
that.
new excuses. They come up with new
Anyways,
stuff all the
anyways, it's
time.
still the newspaper. Today it's like we're on fire to speak so much. Alright. Let the papers continue. And yeah, it's a Nigerian Tribune. Let's take that up a bit. And it says 22 villagers no.
Feared, kidnapped.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
22 villagers feared kidnapped hours after IGP declared Abuja Kaduna Highway safe. Wow. Wow. That's another. Bandits kill DIG's son. Three others injure police officers in Zamfara. The story on page 26 and 27. Then Nimson linkage FG directs Telcom to bar outgoing calls on unlinked lines. Yeah. Then Oshomole declares for Senate. That's a big
I
one.
saw you saw the birthday video that's been
Yeah.
trending, right?
Yeah. And then suspended Abuja Imam finally sacked. Yeah. And then that Imam story was a very big one over the week as well. And yeah, I think that's all we can take. Let's move on to the next because we're almost
Okay,
out of
so we're
time.
moving on now to Wednesday. It says, that's this day newspapers. It says, finally, PDP ditches zoning, throws presidential ticket open. Atiku Saraki, Tambawal, Bafarawa, others in joyous mood. Enugu governor unhappy, fire show withdraws from committee to join presidential race. Okay, someone was trying to do a commentary on that. Pretty interesting one. People have their opinions about Fayose, former Ekiti State governor,
Yeah.
jumping into
The
the
presidential race.
presidential race.
Yeah.
Some think it's to you know, I don't know the rationale behind that, but somebody says probably to reduce Atiku's chances and all that. I wonder, wasn't it insecurity? Again, Senate asks Buhari to declare war on terrorists.
Do we have terrorists in Nigeria? I thought we have just bandits.
Nigeria exceedingly troubled, says Sokowa. Governor speakers meet Friday. That's today. LCCI tax federal government to halt. Desert seem to. I really.
All right,
Okay,
let's
that's more anarchy. And then Buhari, Nigeria fast becoming leading fertilizer producer in Africa.
And
So
yet we're still not having a lot of food. And it's madness, I feel.
so
Let's go to the next, yeah. And then take this up.
that's Thursday.
Business Day.
right?
Yeah, and then it says local operators explore options amid
Record
oil theft. And I think then air pollution puts millions of Nigerians at risk.
And raise.
And then Ponzi scheme, Nigerians shown red flag for big bucks. Yeah, and then Tinubu may be forced to join SDP, sources say. Wow, that's a big one. All right, I think let's move to today's paper, please.
Okay, so moving on now to today's paper, Friday. The Punch newspaper says National Assembly fights Malami back, appeals Electoral Act judgment. President Buhari's ministers await final verdict, put 2023 ambitions on hold. Lawan gives aides planning to contest ultimatum to resign. Omogege's men comply. Cross River APC asks Ayade's men to resign. Bauchi governor orders aide to step aside. And that's a major header for the Punch newspapers for today. Maybe check it out to see what's it. 2022 budget deficits. Deficit jumps to 7.35 trillion naira. Buhari to borrow 965 billion naira. You saw that my tone.
Yeah, we're going again. And yeah, and these are part of the issues that Pastor E. Adeboye was raising the during the weekend. It's crazy because now we keep borrowing and we are servicing. Nigeria has not started paying off their debts. They are still servicing. That's more like saying the interest of the debts
The
that
thing
we are
is,
owing, and it's
if
crazy.
it's a legitimate one that would be put into infrastructure and others, it would be great.
I
But
have
this
issues
time,
with saying
it seems to
infrastructure.
be that what happens is it's re-embezzled.
Yes, exactly, and it's crazy
It's
because a
it's
lot of the time they borrow to do everything basically, and it's totally annoying. It's totally annoying, and even to do anything at all, Nigeria borrows. Nigeria cannot feed
seriously,
itself, and
the
it's a shame.
allegation is it's
It's a shame.
being re-embezzled.
All right,
So
all right.
what are we saying? It should be accounted for.
All right, he gave the Guardian newspaper for today. He gave more than it says, "I'm willing to go to court," says Soyinka, and then Falana offers free legal service. Says Soyinka exercise his freedom of expression,
Expression.
and then just read through the papers. Then go down there. It says Super Eagles, a failure foretold in Cameroon. Wow, that's a big story that I think every one of us should grab a paper today
So
and read.
do we have any more newspapers
Yes, I think one more.
before we
Okay, the Tribune.
sign out to the segment? The Nigerian Tribune says PDP zoning committee proposes 3 options despite autumn's push for power shift to south. Plot to influence PDP May 28 presidential primaries thickens. The PDM caucus connection, Ilumelu expresses shock over report on zoning. Oil theft, Nigeria loses $1.5 billion in 3 months. That's not good. Page 2, we must have special court to try those behind this business. Carry one CFCC and FIU to track illicit fund. Rep asks Buhari to declare state of emergency and crude oil theft. I believe that's
All
it.
right, I think that's all we can take for today's paper. Okay, one last paper, and then I'll just take the header there. It says states, local governments in to earn more than FG in new revenue formula. We can't implement it now, says Buhari. That's the reason, page 3. And then top there it says IGP appoints new CPs for Edo, Imo, Adamawa, Kaduna. Alright, and then let's go up. That's the listen. The top there. Southeast APC leaders demand party's presidential ticket for zone. Alright, I think that's all we can take for the Daily Sun. So make sure you get a copy of today's daily. We'll head out to the virtual streets and we'll be back for social media buzz. Stay tuned. Alright, Africa, I'll be right back.
Some of the trending stories on social media. I hope you're going to find this one exciting.
It's very exciting. Alright, so now away from Nigeria, we what was trending, it's not a Nigerian story,
Okay.
and I'm happy it's not a Nigerian actually. It's actually happened far in Kenya, and a 25-year-old Kenyan man, simply identified as Muima. I think some people say Muiwa. I think
What
I'm
I saw
getting
was
it.
Muiwa.
Something like that. So at first, when I saw the Muiwa, I thought it was Nigerian.
Somebody
It
from
was not
southwestern part of
yes,
the country or
exactly.
something.
And then it says really its plans to marry Teresa, an 85-year-old woman. 85 years.
I'm just curious. I want to know what people are saying. Let's just go up to let's go straight to comments because that's out of the world. Alaga Konibaja says, "Age is just in numbers. True love is all that matters. I support it." That's what he says now.
That man is not serious. Long John says, love is a beautiful thing. Let mama enjoy her life in peace. Wishing them a happy married life. Yes, but make she hide all her gold trinkets for her petticoat. Oh.
Very funny.
You know what that
I
means?
know because he said that.
They're saying that he's going after
What
her
the
because
story?
of
You remember what the story is that he was with
yes,
some friends were away and all that. And
true.
the woman helped, was kind
Yeah,
to
and
him and
it's
all
the
that.
landlord.
The
The woman
landlady,
is the
yes.
landlady
And
rather.
so that's where it started from.
Okay. And they love themselves actually. You can watch the video.
Chi Casablanca says, I think this is a movie or grandma with grandson. But if it's real, there's an ulterior motive. The woman may be a rich person and the guy is targeting her riches. Once she's no more, he inherits everything. My thought though,
Yeah, that's maybe, but there's so much. Please, you should just go read through this.
Chibuzo Akwe says, unusual situation and facts considered abomination and evil in the past due to poverty, lack of self-control, good morals and values in our generation are gradually becoming a normal human practice. What is exactly marriage and love in this movie? Interesting movie. God forbid that it becomes a reality of life. Nonetheless, error remains an error, no matter from whose mouth it's heard. If at 25 is blind, at 40 he may receive sight. All
Maybe.
right,
Maybe.
that's interesting. They're saying
that's
he's blind
life.
now.
Yeah. And I am part of that school of thought that think that, oh Lord, let the veil be broke. But then
Are you sure he's
since-
blind or she's blind?
I don't know who's
Which of
blind.
them?
I don't know who's blind, but somehow I don't. I'm 85 years old. Come on, what sort of okay?
The
Love
red
is a
age is
beautiful
nothing
thing.
but a number now.
Oh come on, that's 85. A grandmama that she's already past menopause. So are you not supposed to give birth? Procreation is part of it. If you come from all those
They can
angles
adopt.
too. Oh, Chichi, okay. Okay, Chichi is on the side of Muiwa, I'm not. All right, let's move over to the next story. The next one is a very funny one. Yeah, it's crazy. You know, we've been talking about child abuse, but then this man is moved and he said, Chichi, please kindly read.
Miles Boy has eaten up to 50k worth of gizzard we kept to sell at 540. Oh my God. And he's still going to get his school fees paid, eat dinner, and sleep peacefully like nothing happened. Not like I support these wicked Igbo women who maltreat their health, but sometimes I understand.
The story continues. Yeah.
I asked him why he did it. He didn't have any reply. This is someone who doesn't eat without meat in any of his meals. He was just eating the gizzard for pleasure, not out of hunger. I'm pained in a different way because there's nothing I would do that won't seem inhumane. When I was
Now-
younger, my mother had a shop. And we used to eat all the granite and all the stuff there
Yeah.
because I was the one sitting in the shop. My siblings were the ones sitting. So, well, when you see that thing there, I wonder how old. How old did you say the houseboy is? I'm not
not
in
on
support.
the age, yeah.
Don't get me. But we need to put perspective on this.
Yeah.
If it's a little boy, I'm sure that how many 50k was not
Yeah.
eaten one day.
Yes,
Was not
he has
eaten in
been
one
eating-
week. Maybe it was eaten over a period of time. Maybe
Yeah.
they checked the records.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, I don't know. But
but then, Chichi, I feel that now you know why I brought this story because we'll be talking about abusing a child, abuse of a child. But if we do not get to know what these children keep doing, this is very painful. Like for a business that you're trying to put together, you don't know if it's a struggling person and all this kind of stuff, and then this is happening. This is a child that you still cater for. This is not a case of they maltreat the child. You understand me? And it's totally crazy. I feel pain for the man. Actually.
I just, like I said, we don't
And
know
then he related to
everything,
the fact
but
that that's why he doesn't blame the Igbo women that maltreats people.
That
a lot of
line,
that one was very tough because there were other pictures I think I couldn't get where they now people now started bringing up these Igbo women and their maltreatment. Look at children's body that have been designed. That's another story entirely.
But that's not
A lot
true.
of-
Now, in fact, that
Hey!
thing is what do they call it? Tribal.
Okay,
If
alright.
it were white people, they'll say racist.
Racist.
Tribal
Okay, this one is
comment.
tribal.
All right, so let's go to the comments now. Let's check out the
All right.
comments.
What one there is it says, "Dear Love Day," says, "If I did this to my mom, she will beat me, and I won't eat meat till she gives me so okay, she gives me. So you just have to find a way to discipline him.
Exactly.
You have to find a way.
You better find a way to punish him for it. Just don't abuse him physically. If it wants to seem inhumane, let it. That's thick, madam.
That one wants the child to be beaten. And then it said, Mr. Fido says, find a way to make him feel part of what you are feeling. It doesn't mean you are being wicked or such.
Ezenwa Peace Nkame Honam says, which Igbo women are you talking about? Not just Igbo women, but Hausa and Yoruba women too. No one is a saint. That you don't see them ranting about their women doesn't mean they are any saint. So please mind what you tweet about your people. You are tarnishing your own people's image. So it's even somebody from the eastern part of the country that did that.
No, yeah, but you know, he's just trying to pull the truth. Anyways, so please let's get to know, follow us on our social media platform as well. You get to hear these comments. So try to find out, let us know your own thoughts about the stories that were brought to you on social media buzz today. All right, that's all we can take for the show. Just make sure that you stay with us. When we return, it's going straight up to the
crux of the matter.
Stay tuned.
The Belgian imports into Man City have signed a new contract extension with the club, making prediction Chelsea and United. It's Arsenal this weekend and Liverpool.
Zinedine Zidane knows that this is not the best time to talk about Salah. Liverpool have a very important game to play against Real Madrid.
Let him go to Barcelona.
I repeat, Mourinho will never accept.
Now you have so many attacking players in that team.
ABN Sports, showing live Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 a.m. West African time on the African Broadcasting Network, ABN.
We must go back to the fundamentals and the basics and start to teach people hard work.
You could prepare something like this for your family as well.
So now that I've learned the process, let me enjoy the process.
If you are not at the table taking decision, then you will be the menu on the table.
One of the way you can actually see opportunities when you begin to see problems.
Arise Africa, showing live Fridays 10 a.m. with repeat broadcast on Saturdays 9 a.m. West African time on the African Broadcasting Network.
Welcome back to Arise Africa. Since the 5th of April 2022, a total of 73 million active mobile lines in Nigeria have not been taking calls. This follows the federal government's directive to telecommunications companies to restrict outgoing calls on unlinked mobile lines following the expiration of the extension for the integration of the National Identification Number (NIN) and the Subscriber Identification Module (SIM) on March 31st, 2022. Now, this directive was contained in a joint statement issued yesterday, and that was when this report was made by the Director of Public Affairs of the Nigerian Communications Commission, Dr. Ikechukwu Adinde, and the Head of Corporate Communications of the National Identity Management Commission, that's Kayode Olagoke. And so this particular directive took place on the 4th midnight. And since then, for the defaulters, outgoing calls have been barred. So today we want to talk about the implication of this SIM barring and the impacts so far, both in individuals and in the country. And to talk about this is our guest, who is a human rights activist. His name is Comrade Joel Efemwaya. I hope I got it right. Efemwaya. All right, welcome.
Thank you very much.
So I was talking about the conspiracy, like the colors and all. Pretty interesting.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Good conspiracy. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right,
I'm
sir.
grateful for having me.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you
know,
very much.
Welcome.
yes, sir.
Welcome.
So quick one. We usually do not have a lot of time when it comes to these things, but this is actually a pressing issue at the moment, and actually SIM barring implications and impact. And now, sir, one question I want to ask is, this government, federal government directive, what are the implications currently on users and probably every one of us?
Well, thank you for having me. I want to say that our government should learn how to do things rightly. It's very important. Now, if you look at the implication, it add more hardship to Nigerians.
Okay.
Now they have been traveling out to Europe and other places. They know how government do such a policy.
Okay.
Not to affect the economy, neither the people they are ruling. That's my take in it. So they need to learn how to do things rightly. You cannot just say because you want to leak SIM, then all of a sudden, or because a time frame. No. If you want then that the SIM should be re-register, that's a double register.
Okay.
They have the MTN there. All the information are there. So to me, I would prefer that the government should learn how to do things right. They are traveling abroad and they know what is taking place there. They should bring the good things here.
All right. But you know, one thing is concerning this NIN linkage, they have given us time. They have been moving it
since 2000.
More than how many years they're telling us. So register your SIM. Okay, for example,
It's
they're supposed to bar the line. I think sometime in July last year. But they move it another 3 months.
There's been several extensions.
A lot of extensions. And now they are taking this off and say, okay, now anyone that has linked their NIN should be barred from making calls. You can receive calls, but you cannot make calls. Do you really think the government is really hard on us? Because we are the ones that have refused to follow government.
They are hard on us in the sense that the system is not viable.
Okay.
As an evil coming, when you get to some area where they're talking about the registration or leaking of SIM, only the crowd, it's a discouraging factor. And when you get there, they will tell you there's no network.
Okay.
You understand me? So this one is not viable. It's not working effectively
because of the system we have on ground. Now let's talk about the challenges. Now we've already gotten there. The challenges, why it was difficult for a lot of Nigerians to link their SIM. Because I won't lie to you, that affected me as well. It took me many attempts to be able to link one of my SIM. So let's talk about the challenges. What are some of the challenges? Now I want you to look at it dispassionately, okay?
Yes.
What are some of the challenges that prevented a lot of Nigerians? Because we talked about the time frame. It's been more than a year. I think it started by December the other year, 2020. So it's been a year and a couple of months. So what were some things, some challenges that made a lot of Nigerians, which are over 73 million Nigerians, who have not linked their SIM yet? So what stopped them?
Okay, now the challenges are this. Number one, when you observe that Nigerians, the majority of them are into self-employed businesses they have been doing on their own. So when you consider the time they're going to waste on go and do registration on that SIM leakage, they feel that it's a stress.
But the registration was done online.
Even though it's done online, the network is not friendly. No. I know about 3 to 4 persons who got to that place for about over 1 month, but they could not, and they shut their business off.
Okay.
So how can they able to feed their family?
All right.
So that is a big challenge they have.
And you know, Chichi, I think there's something we need to probably look at holistically. When we're looking at this now, we must understand that aside your linking it, that means you must get your NIN first, which is part of the first issue. Because getting to those NIN places, because this is me trying to probably even tell us some of the challenges as well that a lot of persons, because you said you had a bit of issue as well. Me too. When I was going to do my NIN, so even recently, I think for my mother, they were telling us bring 5,000 and all those kind of stuff. There's this settlement thing. Why? Because of the crowd. And then when you get to that place, most of the time there's no light. They'll tell you, wait, we are going to issue only to 10 people today. After these 10 persons, no other person is coming in. The remaining person are not.
And aside that, talking about in respect to what you just mentioned, there are some requirements for you to get your NIN. You need to bring your voter card. You need to bring some voter's card. You need to bring some sort of identity to be able to get that. What if you didn't have any of those? Because the truth is there are many Nigerians who don't have some of those. So
even the most funny thing, the most funny thing, you know, in 2011 we did a voter's card. Now when you use that one to go and do the registration, they will tell you this one is no longer invoked. We are not using this. Go and do the new one. So you say everything is compounded that Nigeria doesn't even know where to go. They feel frustrated. So that's why I said, if government want to feel that the Nigeria should go and do the registration, linking or SIM to this, make the system to be make it viable, let it be very easy. When you get there, between a second, not you'll be crowding, using it for money making.
Why do you call it re-registration?
I call it because the information we are talking about on the MTN, if you want to get the data of Nigeria citizens, if you go to the MTN, you will get everything.
The telcos already have.
If you get to the bank, all my data, for example, now I with the bank, I with the MTN or Airtel or Glo. So if you want to know me, Joy, you get to MTN office, you get all data, everything about me. So why I call it re-registration? If you want to get the full data, just go to those areas I call to you, get them.
I think he has a point.
It's true. This one just starting Nigeria
because that's true. Because I'm actually part of this school of thought too. Because
we had a discussion on that.
We tend to go and
at one time.
A lot of time we okay now voters card is the same name, the same phone number, the same thing. That's what is my voters card. My NIN is the same thing. BVN the same thing.
We are not changing that.
So what are we exactly? Why are we linking it exactly?
Okay, that brings me to the purpose now. Like what we were told at the time of, why we all rushed to do the linkage was because they told us it was for security. That it was going to boost security. At least they'll be able to catch the criminals, kidnappers. That's one of the reasons touted for this name-sim linkage.
I disagree.
So
my take on it, when you tell me that the linkage is for security,
has it been effective? That's what I want to know.
It has not been effective. Okay, just since they started, is the insecurity in the country, is it getting worse or is getting better? On daily basis, Kaduna, Abuja road is a different ballgame. Tomorrow, train is a different ballgame. You will see a lot of insecurity in the country. And you say you are doing for sake of making the country security to be. They should come and tell us a better position of the purpose. If our government want that this insecurity should end in this country, they know the best way to go. It's not by linking SIM. Yes.
Yeah.
If all of us should agree that insecurity must stop in this country, they know the best thing to do. They just want to push up to the corner and tell us that we should go and do this. No. No. Anyway, you cannot cajole everybody.
That's a strong word.
You can't cajole everybody.
Wow.
They know the best thing to do. If you want insecurity to end in this country, they know the best thing to do. They are our leaders.
All right. Now I need to probably come in as well and say something concerning this because we were told as well because of all this the federal government has shut down some certain parts of the country, the telcos, some certain places you cannot use your phones. Why? Because of combating this so-called insecurity. But up to now, those places kidnapping still goes on there. The bandits, the Boko Haram guys and all that, the terrorists still communicate. So now you are shutting down a lot of persons from getting to communicate with probably the outside world. Let's use that now. You've isolated those persons.
And they've done their name same.
They have done. A lot of them has done that. And then you still shut down those people. So what's not the use for that? You get so these are many questions. And I think maybe what we'll do, we'll try to get a government official to actually come answer most of these questions.
If they are evil here, they will try to tease us from one place to another, telling us that everything.
You don't believe at all.
I'm telling you
that's why I say human rights activists.
They will tell you just come and just use 2 grammar to come and twist Nigeria. If you watch in Abuja, the insecurity there is about 100%, but now it's getting to something 30%. But we are seeing everything.
But you don't think that's what's happening?
No. Just imagine before the recent train incident in Abuja to Kaduna, there is one that taking place about was not 2 to 3 months ago, and Minister of Minister of Transport Amici, he now directed that there's going to be a patrol of helicopter by Air Force from Abuja to Kaduna. So what is taking place again? To tell you that they know what they are doing. They should tell Nigeria they know what they are doing and they know the best way to end it.
All right, so we're talking about the fact that over 73 million subscribers now. I'm not going to use the word deactivated because that means they wouldn't be able to communicate. Calls, so yes, just outgoing calls. That means if my customer, for example, I'm a businesswoman, a customer calls me, I will not be able to respond.
No, you can't.
I will take the call. I'll take the call, but I won't be able to give feedback. But the good thing is, I think you will also be able to browse. You'll be able to browse.
Yes,
with
you
the
can
same
do other
line.
stuff. You can do other stuff with the line. Yes, you can. I think you can browse, but you cannot make call. That's the basic thing.
So what?
Another thing too is even whilst they are doing that, that's why Nigerians probably have come up with other plans. A lot of the time, so another challenge I must say, some persons have said they've linked their SIM and their SIM still got deactivated. They cannot make calls, maybe because of those telecommunications guys have certain stuff in their issue, because MTN came up with a statement about yesterday or 2 days ago trying to apologize to some of their customers, because they know that those guys have actually linked their SIM. So now we notice that every Nigerian has more than one number. A lot of us, because we've always find a way. So maybe your Airtel is linked and your Glow is not linked, so your Glow is
you use the one that is
yes. So that's what a lot of people are just trying to manage.
There's still some degree of impact. There's still some degree
definitely.
of effects individually and collectively. So what do you say to that?
When you talk about impact, to me, I have not made any impact to Nigeria.
No, I'm talking about the negative impact.
Okay, the negative impact.
As far as the banning.
Now we talk about negative impact. It have created a lot of negative to Nigeria, because as I'm telling you, you will see most of our brothers from the east, the Igbo men, who are able to communicate to their sales girl or go and receive so goods from so place, but they could not. By then, somebody who able to receive that goods have not able to come and collect it. And sales guy does not know what the command or the policy of God have taken so far. So by then, you can understand that the market that particularly does not go well.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it that way. Otherwise, a lot of many Nigeria, because business is all about communication.
Absolutely. I like that statement. Business is all about communication. So when communication it's no longer as effective as it is, it causes a lot of stress.
Yes.
Not
you
just
know,
stress,
it doesn't make for smooth.
The economy is actually dwindling.
Exactly.
That's just
more or
the word.
less.
It's dwindling by the day, because imagine if you are trying to reach your customer or a client, like you said, and you are not able to make calls. Okay, the best thing, you just go for the next best thing. So other persons are losing clients. Yes, some other persons will be gaining as well, because it's a two-way thing. But I think the negative effect, the downward strive is
now we're talking about business alone. We're not talking about health. We're not talking about health.
So many
security. For example, now there's something you are under attack. You cannot carry phone and
make a call.
Because I'm wondering when it was deactivated, at least when the partial deactivation was taking place, or when it started by 5th, a lot of people were unprepared for it.
Nobody knew.
In fact, a lot of people expected extension again. Like, no, I don't think this one is real. I don't think this one is going to be implemented. I think there's still
we did not hear that it was going to be deactivated the next day.
No, there was a statement that was put out by midnight on the 4th of if I'm correct, from what I see, from what was reported the previous day, much later it was put out that it's going to be deactivated the next day. That Buhari has graciously agreed that it should be deactivated, the next day. So just imagine a lot of people were not prepared. Think about people in the rural areas who were not prepared for this. Who probably has had just one lines. All
that's another thing too.
Even the rural area you talk about, the MTN network or the Glow network have not gone to the rural area. Talking about A9 in that rural area. So when you are saying A9 in the rural area, it's like the people want to hear another grammar, another acronym.
Yeah.
What is N9? Even some mama will do was come am I picking operating for me? Let me come. You are telling about N9.
But it's not only old people that are in the village now. So I think they must have been sensitized.
I hope a lot of sensitization in the rural area.
By government?
I'm not sure.
Nothing like that.
I'm not
Not
sure
in the
of
rural
that.
Nothing like that. No sensitization.
So whose responsibility is it?
That's why it's the government. It's the government.
I feel another thing too is to add to this is the fact that most times we are always saying things. When the top says stuff, they just expect that it's going to run to the bottom, but it's not never like that. We know how long it took people to get their PVC in this country. That's voters card. How about some persons just feel that the most important card is the voters card.
Yes.
Most of the time to exercise their franchise. If you are going to tell them, go and get your NIN and all this stuff.
So what is I think I have to bring I came in contact recently with one of the HODs in National Orientation Agency. I think we have to bring them to let us know what their duty is, because I feel that it's actually in the hands of the National Orientation Agency to carry out, to explain to us what government policies are, to explain to us any particular what the government wants us to carry out. Those people have to disseminate information. That I believe so. That's what it was created for. To orient us with what is, ongoing with regard to policies
If
and
it's a
activities
civilized
and all
world,
that.
if it's a civilized world, the first thing they will do is just to make sure that the people at the downstream level, they are being oriented like a year. And they will make the system viable, flowing, to make sure that once you get there, it will never take you 30 minutes.
Yeah.
For example, if it does something will not take me more than 20 minutes, I can even when I'm doing my business, I can just rush down. So, okay, let me just go and get
Quickly
my NIN.
do that.
And before, let's say, before less than 6 months, all Nigeria, no matter how, just like when you are loading your recharge card,
yeah.
within a second.
But then there are impediments. Is that you're paying money or you're queuing up? Or
Exactly.
Or,
When you get
or the network
even
has
when you
an
even
issue.
pay them, even for example, now let me tell you, the people sometimes they deliberately do it just for money making.
Yeah.
Because-
Probably the system will actually
yes,
be working well.
in
That's
Nigeria,
I remember when
everyone want to make
it all
money.
started, when people went to queue at NIMSI offices.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my
It's
thing.
crazy.
That's long.
All right,
I think
Mr.
your
Joel,
last-
let's just get your last
Your last words.
concerning this and a way forward.
Yes, my last word is for the government to do the right thing. It's not coming with this impunitive measure on the people, because this what they are doing is a crime. Just for example, if you are sick or you are insured, you are under a security threat, you cannot carry phone and call the police. Please look, in short, it's a crime. They should learn how to do things, because the answers last. Nobody want to experience anything like protest, but if they don't do, they will experience civil disobedience from the mass, because the masses don't have nowhere to go that to turn back to the government and come out with civil disobedience. So it's good for the government to know what to do at the appropriate time, at the right time. Just be traveling to abroad and
So
all
you
over the
recommend that they give us more time to
more time, and they should make sure that the NIN is more
Generation is easy.
is more easy to access and
get.
not taking
a lot of
time.
people thought it was going to be like this BVN thing.
BVN.
That's ongoing.
Yes.
as you,
It happened.
Time to
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
so-
Everybody knows that.
If case never
Your
take it, this
BBN
government
will always be required.
Yes.
So definitely you
You
go.
got-
You must find a way, one way or the other. Go to the bank
so they have
and
to be
get it
seen.
done.
They have to be told the importance,
Yes.
so that you go do it.
You do it,
But
but-
maybe a lot of people didn't see the importance. Maybe that's why they didn't do it. But before we go, something just occurred to me. There was a topic we did at one time when we talked about Nigeria's attitude, Nigerians' attitude.
Yeah.
You know, you think that may not have been a contributory factor. Like Nigerians, we have this.
Fire brigade approach to stuff. Okay, now that it has
If
been
you're
blocked,
giving
a lot of
time, if you're
persons
being
now.
lenient,
For
they
example,
just want
because
to,
that's
like,
why somehow I do not want to totally blame the government. Yes, we understand like what Comrade Joel has raised here, that okay, the way the system is not still very fluid to make the things work. But then but all of us here, we've gotten our NIN.
Yes.
You get my point. So somehow we're able to still create time. But most Nigerians will just wait and like, I beg you, leave it the way we say it. They will say nothing go happen.
It's
You
going to
worry,
be
that's
like
what we say.
BVN.
Say no problem.
No,
and then
there'll
if
be
you
no
remember,
deadline.
they have moved the deadline multiple times. Okay, they're going to block SIM next week. Everybody was waiting December. Like, no,
So
they
maybe
moved it another 3 months.
maybe this is
And,
a drastic
this one-
measure,
yes,
measure to
get people
propel
to work.
Nigerians
For example,
into acting.
yes, that's what it is. And if you
so-
remember, that's why the government did not say deactivate the line totally. Just to do
barring
buy it
out
from going outgoing calls. You get
So by the time you experience that, it's going to propel you to do something about it.
all right. So we say a very big thank you to
Comrade Joel
Comrade Joel.
Efemwaye.
Thank you very much,
for
sir.
being
Thank
part
you
of the
very
show
much.
today.
It has been a very great time with you.
Thank you.
on the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, and
Thank
yeah, Lady Chichi, any last words?
That's it today. All right. Please
All right.
just try and link your. Of course, you know the importance. I don't have to tell you.
Exactly, very important. You are the ones on making calls. All right, guys. So thank you for staying with us throughout the show. And yeah, we say thank you for staying. Yeah, it's important. And then, like Chichi said, make sure you link, go and do whatever it is that you need to do, so you can start communicating with your customers, your colleagues, your security operatives. It's important. So please do what the government says. Let's all try to make sure that we do that. And also do not forget, just like the way you are going to do this, so also get ready. The elections is coming close. So make sure as well, with that same spirit, go and get your PVC. If you've not gotten your PVC as well, go and get it. Do whatever it is that you need to do this season. All right. And yeah, thank you very much. I remember Arise Africa will be back next week by the grace of God. And and definitely it's going to be an awesome time. Also, remember to follow us on all our social media, and also remember that it is open for sponsorship. The show is open for sponsorship, so reach out to us. Thank you very much. I am Boye Mark Anthony, and it's bye from us.
Bye for now.
Thank you.
The Belgian imports into Man City have signed a new contract extension with the club, making prediction Chelsea and United is Arsenal this weekend and Liverpool.
Zinedine Zidane knows that this is not the best time to talk about Salah. Liverpool have a very important game to play against Real Madrid.